We are live. You are tuned in. That's right. You are tuned in to Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. I'm your host, Yo Jules DJ. Welcome back to another episode of Who Do You Got? The show where we take two of your favorite albums, two of your favorite crews, two of your favorite artists, etc., put them in a round 5 for 5 round battle to come up with the question at the end of the night, let alone the answer. Who do you got? Tonight we're talking super underground, super duper 90s. We like, you know how we like to do it around here, but I think this is specifically for a certain cult of fan base that we're doing this for. This is strictly for the Woo heads tonight. You know what I'm saying? Pause. We're talking about Sons of Man. First debut album, The Last Shall Be First, going up against KILLARMY's first debut album, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. Make some noise.
Yeah.
I mean, we keeping it super underground tonight. Shout out to everybody that joins us every Monday night here live on Twitch, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we do it every week. And don't forget to catch all our episodes on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks to everybody that leaves the comments and shout outs. Shout out to y'all. Let's go ahead and introduce the rest of the room. Let's talk about what we're talking about tonight. Let's see what they're all thinking. Let's see where everybody's headspace is at. Pause. Let's get into it. Let's go and talk about Sons of Man, The Last Shall Be First versus KILLARMY, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. Pardon me. Let's start with my man DJ Scandalous, aka Baba Midi. What is up, sir?
Yo, what's good, man? What's good?
Listen, man, we're talking two underground joints that either you know or you don't know. Mm-hmm. We know, but you know, let's be clear. You either know or you don't. So what are you talking about here?
So I'm going with the KILLARMY on this one, man.
Oh, snap.
KILLARMY.
Got the first vote down. Scandalous in the building. Not scared to put it down. Let's keep moving. Let's go to my man, the Real Cool B, usually on the West Coast. Finally on the East Coast. Sir, it's good to have you back. We don't get no more East Coast than these two projects we're talking about tonight. I mean, super duper East Coast. Let's talk about it, sir. Who do you got?
I'm going to go KILLARMY on this one as well, sir.
You too.
Yep.
Like I said, it's going to get interesting. We'll see which way everybody goes tonight. Let's see. My man, Quick Fast, Triple C from Queens. What is going on, sir?
All right. This one, I guess I'm going with KILLARMY.
Wow. What is it?
Wow, you said that begrudgingly. Why?
With your arm, Triple C? Damn.
Wow. They at your house right now, son? You got to like twice. You know?
Stop banging on the damn furnace.
We're going to find out why Triple C feels this way, specifically, you know, about the group that he chose. I mean, I know I didn't choose with the other group, but you reluctantly picked this one. But we're going to get into it. Again, thank you for your...
It's really, I wanted today off, you know. I wanted to sip my Kool-Aid, my pina colada Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Ain't nobody stopping you. Go ahead, sip your Kool-Aid. Sip your pina colada Kool-Aid.
Doing Triple C's fun, damn it. He wanted to chill.
I'm getting the vibe.
Take no days off, baby.
Make us do this. He doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Let's be clear. Executive producer Triple C was 100% down with this just a few days ago. Now when it's time to actually sit down and put the hot dogs away, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, now it's a problem. I see what's going on. I see
People's tearing down glizzies out here, man.
I hope not. With that being spoken, the anti-glizzy man himself, my man Ike Infamous, all the way from the East Coast. Listen, I know no glizzies on that grill, baby. No glizzies on that grill, baby. You know what I'm saying?
We don't do glizzies over here.
No glizzies on the East Coast, Long Island East Coast. You know, as east as it gets on Eats, Beats, and Rhymes. Man, Ike Infamous, shout out to you, sir. What is going on?
Yo, peace. What up, man? Peace, fellas.
Listen, man, we talking two classic albums, two projects you're familiar with, I'm sure. Sons of Man, KILLARMY, debut projects. Who do you got?
Absolutely, entirely a Woo head. You know I have the CDs. If I wasn't renovating the crib, I'd show them to you. You know what I mean? But KILLARMY, man.
Oh, snap. This is looking entirely one-sided. But I had to leave, last but not least, the ultimate, you know, if this was a Voltron situation, he is the Black Lion, let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the WU-TANG Voltron, your man DJ Hobo, straight out of Virginia, 2 up, 2 down, Triple T radio representative. Listen, sir. It comes down to you. We're talking Sons of Man, KILLARMY, debut projects, the Woo cousins that you love to hate. Who do you got?
Hey, look, just don't call them the Duns like Nori did. If you call them the Duns,
he called them way worse than that. We're not even going to get into that.
They might have to come see you. I am going KILLARMY as well.
caramba.
Relax on getting.
All right. Gentlemen, for those that don't know, like I said, it's looking entirely one-sided tonight. It looks like the entire room has picked KILLARMY, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, to beat Sons of Man's The Last Shall Be First. But we'll see how it goes down. Because like I said, the way the questions go down around here, they like to call them mandering, but I like to call them a good old-fashioned game show. Like I said, round and round and rounds of just pure musical pleasure. Let's start with round number one, speaking of which. Let's go ahead and talk about both projects. Like I said, both 90s releases, debut projects for both. And we can't forget the obvious connection. They're Wu-Tang affiliates. Both groups have the Wu-Tang stamp, if you will, on both projects. They are officially looked at as Wu-Tang, I guess you can call them killer bees to a certain degree, like they're part of that whole swarm. So it's only right that we have to take their debut projects and talk about them one by one, right? Let's go ahead and talk about Sons of Man. And theme for tonight's first round, if you're not familiar, like I said, how we do around here, is we basically gonna do the best first song off of each project. Let's see if the tone that they let go after each intro, because respectively they have small intros on each project. But let's get straight to the music. Like I said, each one of these first songs really classifies and leads the direction of how these albums are gonna roll out. Let's talk about The Last Shall Be First with its first song, Cold, produced by Fourth Disciple.
I walked away and I left you cold. I walked away
Word up.
and I left you cold.
What y'all niggas all been waiting for? Little story. You know what I'm saying? Sons of Man. We had a show going by. And keep it moving. Just when it got cold. Hold up. Come on, brother. We had to walk on by and keep it moving. Check it. Hold up. Hey, yo, my thoughts be colorless. The undercover rich. Haters loving it. Watch the Hell King tuck with it. Queen's bathtub in it. I diamond cutting it. Sharp and on point. Fuck the tricks of the government. Money rule the world. Got my people suffering. Cops busting it. Handcuffing men till they wrist bleed. Some read what they don't need. Give receive. Black Lebanese. Rabbi and green fatigues. Microphone mask MCs. Maccabees. Hard-headed seeds. We told and still ain't free. The truth came in flesh and still you don't believe. The best thing you know is the spot to find weed. Get the knowledge dungarees. We still struggling. Sons of Man UK. Keep it bubbling. We come to clubs like the ones you bring the trouble in. What? He sold his soul like publishing.
Walked away and I left you cold. I walked away and I left you cold.
I reminisce on
Hey, Fourth Disciple on the beat. Clear. I dig it.
Disciple was all over both projects.
So we're gonna actually talk about that right now. As a matter of fact, you use your hobo for that cool segue. We're gonna move on to track number one off that Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, Dressed to Kill, also produced by Fourth Disciple. Let's get into it.
We are at war with an enemy we can't see. A brute is gunfire. Their strategy is worldwide terrorism.
Military gear, ain't go out like troops. Grab your army suits and your fat black boots. Military gear, ain't go out like troops. Grab your army suits and your fat black boots. Military gear, ain't go out like troops. Grab your army suits and your fat black boots. Military gear, ain't go out like troops.
Mad war, nigga, metaphors war. From my jaws of exhaust, got high with fly sounds down the forces. War, you rap back, you whack, I'm back action. 5/4 to be exact like that. Strike till you're not one shot. A bank slang to your brain, get you open on top. Well, so what? Nigga, take that and then some. Sin's done when it comes to track and fat drums. I lyrical tools that boom, crush, consume brains, leaving your veins, putting puncture wounds in the pot. Blazing high clock, raising your knock, cock, kill shot, spill it to bumper clock. You want test, nigga, best be on MSG. A blast fast and shatter that ass. It's like plexiglass, fool. Last through chop with dime, homicide, collide with energized thoughts from parts out of part die. Split so flex from your chest, my complex style be wild. Enough tough like rough sex or roughness. I dedicate the shot to the suspect. In real life, niggas ain't afraid to bust sex. Soldiers, militant dog.
It was going to get a lot more rapidy rap after that. It's going to be a while before that. You know, because let's be clear, we don't talk about how many members are in each group. But respectfully, these two tracks, like I said, set off both projects. We are talking about Cold versus Dressed to Kill. Both tracks produced by Fourth Disciple. Let's talk about it. Who do you got?
I'll address the elephant in the room, man. I'll take Sons of Man on this one. I'll take Sons of Man on this one.
Okay, so cool.
The reason being is I understand our normal Eats Beats and Rhymes question with the direction of the album. But I think this is the first time for me personally, the first track for KILLARMY doesn't put into perspective in the direction of where their album is going. I personally say, okay, in full perspective, because you don't get an idea like as you become as you are a super hip hop head and you keep the music rolling, you see how lyrically and how in pocket I feel like the KILLARMY album is. So this record, I don't think is a good perspective on how the KILLARMY album as a whole is going to do. And Fourth Disciple, I think there was a different direction for production wise, you know what I mean, on both projects, you know what I mean? So he was able to ride the themes of both albums. So I think the first track for the Sons of Man is just a better introduction to the project than the KILLARMY.
Both albums about a year apart. Again, there's more different producers, if you will, on the Sons of Man album. Predominantly Fourth Disciple, who's considered an actual member of KILLARMY, which would explain why he produced the entire album pretty much. But shout out to Mr. September in the building. Mr. September doing KILLARMY versus Sons of Man first albums. Shout out to you. That's what you basically caught us on round number 1, Cold versus Dressed to Kill. Ike is the first person to put his vote down for Cold, saying that song just hits a little bit different than Dressed to Kill. Anybody else feel the same or feel any different? Scan?
To kind of continue on with what Ike was, I think the Sons of Man track in this particular case, I think it's a little bit more polished as well, right? And which is interesting because when you actually kind of compare them sonically, the more polished I think later on, it doesn't really win for them in this case. But I think for the KILLARMY, that intro track, it's an okay track for that album, but it doesn't really pierce through as the way Cole does in my opinion. So I would agree with Ike in this case, where for this particular round, I would go for the Cole record as well, based off everything.
2 votes in Cold. My man Cool Breeze, I didn't mean to cut you off. Which way are you going? Because it's interesting because you usually wait to never vote. So I'm anxious to know which way you want to vote right now.
He's trying to redeem his WU-TANG. He's trying to get his card back. He's trying to get his card back.
Listen, Hobo, I'm gonna put you on mute right now. So I'm on the East Coast now. Temporarily. So I got my Timbs on in the hot weather, you dig? So I'm gonna go with Cold on this one. And to kind of not to waste everyone's time, but listening to both tracks, I think a lot of the songs are very similar in sound. And
same producer, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like very slow-paced beats with slow-paced rhymes. So it's kind of consistent with both albums, I think. Not bad rhymes, but just the pacing of the rhyme. I'm gonna go with
I feel like this is like a backhanded compliment, but we gonna find out.
It's not a back.
No. It's too early to tell if it's backhand. We're gonna find out throughout the evening if you're like.
Oh, here we go, Jules. The Mandarin begins.
Gotta
watch him. Gotta watch him.
How can it be Mandarin when you just placed your vote? And I said what I said.
Listen, I'm not in the California sun right now. I was real swift with it.
You're choking your Timbs. Relax. You're too West Coast. You're choking your Timbs. Calm down. Listen, we're gonna keep it pushing. You gotta let the ankles breathe, buddy. You gotta let the ankles breathe. Let's keep it, like I said, let's keep pushing. We got 3 votes in for Cold at the moment. Does anybody feel any different? We got to find out right now what's going on.
No, I originally I thought that I would have voted for, in anticipating the question, I thought I would have voted for KILLARMY, but if Ike, you made a great point. If we're going under the rules of what we do here and how we score, I agree.
Okay,
Cold,
so you
Cold is
also
a
go
better
Cold.
fit.
Mm-hmm.
Triple C, ironically, quick fast, not today.
Yeah, because I wanted to be last, so it doesn't count.
Ooh. Yo, Triple C is in full protest right now.
Game on his own. He's
Attica. He wants to heat up that grill,
I'm going
man.
with Cold.
You going with Cold too?
Yeah, but I'm doing the breeze, the slight edge.
Jules, I just want you to know, Triple C is on one today, boy.
I mean, listen.
Bull.
Triple C. Let's be clear. Potato salad doesn't go cold. It's already cold or room temperature. You'll be all right. It ain't gonna go bad. And technically, it's supposed to get served tomorrow. You're getting exclusive tonight. All right, so relax. Complaining about the night off. It's July 3rd, brother. let's be clear.
My mindset is ready there.
Yeah, listen. Every day is Sunday to you. Let's be clear.
Oh, Triple C has to go outside and lick off shots.
Listen, his neighborhood
started early.
It happens even in the winter. It don't matter whether June or February. You know what I'm saying? Either way.
Some people light fireworks on the 4th of July. Others shoot guns.
Hey,
July
listen,
3rd or December 3rd, same thing.
gotta get the grill moving. Yeah.
I gotta get the response from round number 1 out the way. Did the voting booth go up? And if so, what was the results?
The voting booth was open, and the winner is.
I have suspense is real.
Oh, 100% for Cold.
Oh, snap. Just like the 100%. Chat room, the room felt the exact same way. There's not a single vote went to Dress to Kill. Shout out to KILLARMY though. But this round goes to Sons of Man, best first song. Not bad for a group that had no representation at the very beginning of the game. Round 1 goes to Sons of Man. The last shall be first. Moving on to round number 2. That was kind of fast. Triple C, I know he's in a good mood now. He's like, oh, we gonna get to the pie yet. So let's don't worry. We're gonna get there. We don't get there. We do this every Monday night, by the way. Just like we're doing it tonight for all the fans that tune in. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, here on Twitch. Eats, Beats, and Rounds, one word, and all your audio podcast needs. We got you locked in there too. Round number 2. Man, got me putting on my glasses, you know what I'm saying? Because I gotta make sure I'm playing the right songs. Theme for round number 2, of course, we had to come up with the right kind of theme. Again, the involvement of Wu-Tang is heavily influenced on both albums, so it only made sense that the God himself, the RZA, made an appearance on production on both projects. Let's talk about, that's right, let's talk about the best, aka RZA track off of both projects, respectfully. Let's start out with Sons of Man's Tribulations.
I ain't want nothing no but a bankroll on the other side of 123rd Street Road. Nothing no but a bankroll on the other side of 123rd Street Road. Bringing it straight off the curb. Now the shit is tough. I got shit mad getting clear to Texas trash. With the guard you in the stash. I ain't want nothing no but a bankroll on the other side of 123rd Road. Yo, now we got facts. I ain't want nothing no but a bankroll. Want nothing no but a bankroll.
Life is reality, reality is life. People live in strife, the world filled with strife. The gods living right in this act, too many lack. Black on black crime, no rest, another victim laid to rest. Life is reality, reality is life. Niggas living strife, bitches living shicey. The gods living right in this act, too many lack. Black on black crime, no rest, another victim laid to rest. Life is reality, reality. Life is reality, reality. Life is reality, reality is life. Niggas living strife, bitches living shicey. The gods living right in this act, too many lack. Black on black crime, no rest, another victim laid to rest. Life is reality, reality. Life is reality, reality. I break bread, eliminate feds and deadheads. I seen the bloodshed, devils in cage, torturous slaves. A rat hooked at Hopkins, Fort Greene to Albany. Galleries of artillery, a symphony, military. Some adversaries and ferries. Caught the bad decision, physical collision. We left from holy lights with Christians.
A new incorporation, your rap is operation, not a reorientation or orientation. More and more gold is what I'm tasting. Low down, international business play exchanging. Yeah, frames, pound, gold pacing.
There was so much science going on right there. I know that went over Triple C. I can see Triple C watching TV in the corner. I can see like I can give a fuck about the knowledge. Fuck the knowledge. That right there is RZA's hand at Tribulations of that Sons of Man. So you got to follow it up. As I always say around here, steel sharpens steel. Let's talk about RZA's involvement off that Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars with that track we all know and love, Wake Up. Make you want to drop one tear. Just wake the fuck up. 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 Wake the fuck up.
Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Wake the fuck up. Yeah. Wake the fuck up. We'll get broke the fuck up. The wisdom we apply, son, soak this shit up. And if it was sex, son, if I smoke this shit up. So wake the fuck up. We'll get broke the fuck up. Yo. We are the street soldiers on the dark side of the planet. I give killing orders like a lieutenant. Hit the planet Earth and explode like a human cannon. The universal author, born to kill saga. Giving niggas head trauma. Bulletproof shield is made of gold armor. Brain surgeon is erosion to my Persian mind urban. Scientists found killed and wrapped up in curtains. Casualties, flashbacks, now sit me back. I attack like a rat, serious as a heart attack. Professional assassinate a professor. Assassinate your mind state and broke the metal plate. Lyrical Nostradamus. Psychotic mind of Saddam. Ex-con, attack the Pentagon with an orthodox firearm from Vietnam. I crucify them like Muslims, murdering Jews from Jerusalem. Now who's the supreme lyricist? You can't seize this. When I die, my name will be worshipped like Jesus. War visual individual, incriminate the criminal. My coach and nickel put holes in your face like dimples. And again, someone was about to wake the fuck up. Just wake the fuck up. I think we know how to hook. Jehobo, you planning to place your vote? Is that what you're trying to do? Because I'm asking the question. Tribulations versus Wake Up, the best RZA track.
This song, Wake Up, is something that stays in rotation for me. If you have ever heard one of my shows on TTT Radio, I'm sure you have heard it more than once, probably. Not too much, but more than once. Like, it's such a dope song, man. That beat is crazy. And it's right on the borderline with the yelling for me. It's right. It's like right. You know how I feel about MOB.
It's on the cusp.
I respect you, Hobo. I respect you, Hobo, for acknowledging that because I know there was a lot of us that was wondering where this sat with you on that. So.
It's like right there. It's right there. But that beat, man, is just that's one of my favorite beats, man. I love that beat so much, man. And I recognize it's an overall thing. Mr. September in the chat was saying that he always felt like Sons of Man was better. I have always felt like KILLARMY had a better collection of MCs than Sons of Man. I mean, I know Killer Priest and 60 Second Assassin in Sons of Man, dope MCs, but overall as a group, I've always felt KILLARMY was a little bit better.
Well, let's talk about it real quick. Let's talk about the members of each group. For example, Sons of Man is consisted of Prodigal Son, Killer Priest, Hellraiser, and 60 Second Assassin. Former members that used to be in the group apparently were Shabazz the Disciple, Seventh Ambassador, and Supreme, who actually did some production on the album as well. And then when we talk about the list of artists that are involved in KILLARMY, it's a good list as well of a good amount of people. There's let's start here with Ninth Prince, who's actually RZA's younger brother. Killa Sin, who's currently incarcerated. Don Pacino, also known as the PR terrorist. Islord, Kinetic 9, Shogun Assassin, and Fourth Disciple. It's just a lot. It's almost WU-TANG-ish to a certain degree. It's large people for both groups. But again, the group aspects tend to work with anything almost WU-TANG related back then. They definitely rode that coattail.
Shabazz Disciple had a single out too. He had his own single.
A banger.
That'd be the penalty. Penalty.
Banger.
Shout out to Priest as well. Killer Priest had his own solo stuff.
Killer Priest had some dope solo albums as well.
Killer Priest is dope.
Yeah.
Killa Sin, I think for me in KILLARMY, Killa Sin was just somebody that was just on another level lyrically. It was always it was always like, yo, he's not supposed to be on the bench, man. He's supposed to be with the starters, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think his presence alone was able to carry a lot for KILLARMY, period.
Right. I agree.
I mean, while we're talking about that, I mean, so are you going on the Killa Sin route of the group in this particular route? You on KILLARMY?
For which one is the better production?
Which is the better RZA track in your opinion?
Which is the better RZA track? I think the Sons of Man is a real dope one, but I think the way the RZA was able to flip the keys on the KILLARMY and kind of made it like that song is, if you are a diehard fan, that song is one of those songs. Like you mentioned KILLARMY, everybody always mentions Wake Up. But yo, my brother's not even a humongous WU-TANG fan, like nowhere near I am. I play KILLARMY. This is like the first record that has to be played. And I'm like, you don't even like these
song I associate. It is a song I associate them with for sure.
Yeah, well, wasn't that like off the Incredible Hulk?
Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I felt like I'm going with KILLARMY on this, but I feel like the beat outshined the rhyme.
Well, it was a clever flip. I mean, it wasn't a soul record. It was a TV soundtrack record, right? You're talking about the outro to the Incredible Hulk, the 1980s version.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, to add on to that real quick, Trip. You know, it's kind of like sometimes when you think of, I guess from a production standpoint, right? When you know where the sample came from and you can associate it with what that image of the Incredible Hulk is and was, and how that TV show is, it then lends itself to how you kind of make the beat and then want MCs to get on the beat and then the subject matter of the beat. So it's almost automatic. It's almost automatically going to be a win regardless if used correctly. It's almost a win regardless.
If used correctly, yep.
So what does that leave?
It's such a banging beat, man. And I mean the sample flip, like I think we all know that that's the Incredible Hulk, the ending. But I mean, just that alone, like to use that as a beat and to do that to it. I mean, but you're right. To your point. I think overall the beat does overshadow the rhymes, but I think that's just because the beat is so phenomenal.
We're also talking about the RZA. I mean, again, it is the RZA round, and this one stood out, and it's no mistake that like I said,
and it's prime WU-TANG years too. You're talking this because Wicked came out first, so this was like 97 when this actually came out.
Yeah. It might even be 96 because the album came out in 97.
Right.
So yeah, single was probably like a year maybe before that.
This is big WU-TANG years. You know what I mean? So it's gonna get love automatically.
Mm-hmm. It did. This was from my collective memory when we're talking about Wake Up. My memory of it is being in Rock and Soul and hearing it play there. It's not like you'd hear on the radio. Yeah, like, what is that?
This is a pre-flood RZA, yes?
Not sure, to be honest.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think this might be after. I thought the flood happened in
early 90s, right?
Yeah, I thought it happened like 94. I thought the flood happened like 94, 95, if I'm correct. It was like if I'm correct, I thought it was like right after maybe was it Ray's after Ray's album?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Ray's album was 96.
No, Ray's album was 95.
95.
Yeah, I think it either might have been like right before or right after. Because I know it was it Method Man, Ray, and then GZA, I think, as far as releasing.
Yeah, but Inspector Deck said that he RZA had beats for him, but the flood happened. So
yeah.
I'm gonna put my vote in. I'm gonna go for Wake Up, sir.
Cool. And you were on the same page, correct?
Yeah, Wake Up.
I mean, it's no secret. When we talked about the best RZA track for round number 2, we're talking about Sons of Man's The Last Shall Be First, going up against KILLARMY's Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. The best RZA track in this particular round, which was Tribulations versus Wake Up, goes entirely, just like the last round, one-sided completely, not even a speck of hint of fanness on the other side. Wake Up takes the win on this one, giving KILLARMY a point on the board. We officially tied up at the moment, one up, 1 versus 1. Here we go. It's officially tied up. Round number 3. This is an interesting one. This one came from an outside submission. It's much appreciated when that happens, and it actually comes out to be a pretty dope question. Again, we're talking both debut projects, both WU affiliates. So it's only right that somebody from the WU had to make an appearance. So it's only right that we talk about the best Master Killa feature since he's featured on both albums. And let's talk about his track on The Last Shall Be First called Illusion. Respectfully, I do not know when his verse kicks in.
Respectfully.
So are you saying that there was no homework done, or?
No, there was. So believe it or not, if I'm a betting man, and sometimes I am, I'm gonna go and say he's verse number 3. But at this point, he's verse number 3. It's 2 MC. I did the homework. Check this out. 2 MCs in the share the first 16. Hook, and then I think it's him. So like it'd be 3 people rhyming, and we'd be listening to a verse, 2 verses, a hook, and then him. And then that's not even the same setup for the following record, which would be 5 stars off that, Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. So I'm just gonna respectfully play verses and hooks. Just know that the theme had Master Killa involved. It's not about literally Master Killa's verse, but if you want to stand on the hill, we can do that right now. But it's going to be jumping around.
Can I just say something? I think when you challenge somebody to something and they look like Steph Curry in the gym, you have to acknowledge that. So good job by you, Jules. Good job by you.
I appreciate it. Pinky's up.
He answered your question, son.
Sit your black ass down before I make change.
Don't question
everybody else but Killa on the track called Illusion.
Yeah. Know what I'm saying? 98 now, new law. Come with us or go with them.
Fourth Disciple
Sons
again.
of Men. Check it out, that's how it's going down. Hey yo, this rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. This rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. This rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. This rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. Hey yo, you rappers don't amuse me with your crystals and Uzis. Industry groupies, living after movies. They Scarface my race. Some support hate, life's a court date. Some die to escape, so hold your weight. Y'all niggas brag too much, fuck with us, we back you up. And use the same click that you thought to back you up. It's 9-8, eliminate bait and open gates. Enough for chains and whips, let's make brains eclipse. We all claim we rich, hold thugs and crips. Forgot about the seeds growing up, 7 to 6. Fuck a bench with tents, I got the razor prince. Y'all rappers love idols, there it is, I'm convinced. Burn my contract, mental combat. Stomp your battle rap with a Vietnam trap. Red and white Sedan rap, sipping cognac. I bet you didn't know that the real Jews are black. I tell the truth, cat, where your modules is at. The world or the heavens, God or the reverend, your girl or your weapon. Christ Armageddon. Hey yo, this rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. Hold up, this rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. This rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. This rap game ain't what it seems. Artists get cream, turn fiends, selling people a dream. Living this life, big city's a dream.
Okay, I thought it was Master Killa in the third verse, but he's not. Again, we would have waited some more and more, and I would have just dragged it. 7 other niggas before. I'm sorry, it's just too many.
Look. And there you go. I gave you a Steph Curry in the gym, and then you go ahead and throw a brick.
There's too many ninjas in the room.
He hit the side of the backboard.
Yeah, man. Like, yo, come on, man. I was like, yeah, that's my dude. Step up.
Too many. I'm sorry. It was like, come on, that's too many. Listen, they all dropping lyrical bombs, be clear. But like I said, to keep it with the theme, it was almost damn near impossible. But like I said, we're still sticking to the theme. Let's talk about it. Yeah, we're going to stick to the theme, no doubt. We are talking about, again, KILLARMY's response to that record with 5 stars, another Fourth Disciple production, featuring Master Killa.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the song.
Yeah.
Master Law, sell hate. Shaolin, Cypher D, niggas. All my militant soldiers. Yeah. Check it out. Yo. As night falls, the commandos team sees the palace. Here's the assault, grenades and boats. flow in the air like lightning bolts. Ripping out the spleen. The battlegrounds like the disc jungles of Philippines. Drunk monks sip OE out the canteen. Men at war with guillotines. Safari of Japanese troops fly waiting. All you hear is bullets penetrating. Deep like the assassination that almost killed Reagan. War troops and army chiefs with spike boots. Living proof boots. Camouflage so hard to igloo. Eskimo commando. Just to kill a camo. Black Rambo. A civilized with ammo. Bulletproof parachutes. We motivate helicopters with green bags of loot. Blood those heroes. After Vietnam, we made the wheelchair. No fear. Warfare at its highest stroke. I snatch up for feet of troops in desert.
They stay true to that whole army thing. Like I hear the helicopters in the background.
That's that mash.
And he's right. That guitar intro that's played over, you can tell they probably couldn't clear the sample. Was MASH, the intro to the TV show. Yeah, that 80s TV show about Vietnam.
Which is interesting because I thought that was Bob James, no?
Bob James MASH theme?
The theme? Am I mistaken?
That's from the show.
I mean, it is an instrumental. It's not like there's anybody singing on it, so maybe.
Hold on.
I remember how it goes too.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
I always incorporated MASH I always incorporated MASH with that weird time where I wasn't sure if time even existed. Like you woke up and it was like MASH is on. And it was like, where am I at? Is it?
I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night. It's 11, 12 o'clock at night. You like,
that's
right now.
That's the Jay-Z line. You wake up in the hospital, you watch a MASH for months.
Is that what he said?
Hey, yeah. Yo, I know exactly that feeling that you were talking about. Exactly, dude. I woke up at my grandmother's house and MASH.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes.
yo,
you wake up. Yo, listen, hobo. You wake up, it's either Johnny Carson or MASH that you hear in the background when you sleep.
Word.
We're talking about a time and place where there was probably 7 channels.
Yeah, no doubt. And the TV,
7 to 9 channels.
I mean, I don't know. Do y'all remember when the TV would turn off at a certain time?
Yeah.
Yes.
No more TV?
Yeah.
It was the
TV.
It was the Pledge of Allegiance.
It was the American flag and the
national anthem. Yeah, national anthem. It was like,
and it would just
and
go.
we're out of here.
Yeah. He's telling not to.
Tomorrow morning. Like, oh, okay. Imagine that. Like I
Yo, that's wow.
Well, think about it. You only program. I mean, it's interesting though because just to kind of still touch on this for 1 second. That means you were only programmed a certain amount of times per day. Where now you can be programmed 24 hours a day. So that's actually a very big thing. That's a huge thing.
Speak on it. They decided to ramp up the programs. Hold on a second. Let's just think. You know what I mean?
You're being sold morning, noon, and night.
Yo, son, you are right about that.
You see what happens with the power W-TANG? Knowledge, God.
Right, knowledge, God. You see?
Come on, man. Right. Yo, Trip C, so man. Sometimes
knowledge, but it's knowledge, but they off beat.
True. You just have a lot to say. They got a lot to say, bro. They got a lot to get on their chest.
Hey, yo.
Who do you got?
5 star. KILLARMY.
5 stars, Triple C, the first one to put his vote down. Is anybody feeling similar like Triple C, or does anybody want to go to Illusion?
Actually, I'm gonna go with Illusions on this one.
Why is that, Hobo?
That beat was too busy for me. There's too much going on in that beat. The helicopter, the guitar, it's just way too much, man. It was
the Jeep pulling up and them dropping off supplies, and everything.
The bombs dropping and the gunshots. It was too much.
Almost thought he was dead. He thought he was in action.
The smoke in the background.
It was too much, bro. Too much.
Bobo and Trip both put their votes down. Opposite sides of the spectrum. Anybody feel the same or different?
I'm gonna go with Illusions, man. I think Illusion was a stronger song than 5 stars.
Yeah, cool. Breeze is voting. Anybody else feel the same or different?
Yeah. I'm going with Illusions, and it was just, I don't know. It wasn't necessarily. It's funny as shit what Hobo just said it, but it wasn't necessarily about it being busy for me. It was just that it took me back to MASH, man. It took me back to that time where I was lost. Like, I'm telling you, man, when I watched MASH, I felt like, when you see in TV shows, you see the people, they just floating around trying to figure out where the fuck they're at. That's what I felt like, man.
it was like a show about something, but it was just about nothing. But it kind of stood still, and it's like it was the same thing like every time they showed.
Yo, and every time I woke up, I always caught this shit at the same time in the introduction. I'm like, yo, why am I waking up when this fucking helicopter lands every time?
Gotta program you, baby. I gotta program you.
It's either the intro or the outro.
That's the,
yeah.
That's the Matrix. That was the Matrix.
The outro, the outro I hit earlier.
That's your signal to let you know your programming was complete. So I think
that's what it was. Oh, so I probably did some shit back in the 80s, huh? I probably did some shit back in the 80s I don't even know about.
Listen, hold on. How ironic is it that we're talking about Matt? Is that a fatigue hat you have on? Huh?
It is.
Oh,
wow, the programming is complete.
This is a fatigue hat, but it's my Tribe Called Quest hat. You know what I mean?
Tribe Called Matt.
From the pop-up. Let's not forget from the pop-up. From the pop-up.
With me and the good, with me and the good Rev. And
you remove your glasses, it might say MASH. They live.
Like they live, right?
Just put them on.
That's crazy. Yo, I think that might have been the first time we met. As a matter of fact, might have been
actually, I think it was the first time we met. We was listening to the Tribe album on the way. Yeah, I think that was the first time we met, Jules. That's right. Holy shit.
Damn. Oh yeah, pretty long time ago. So boom, we got a lot of votes going from one side of the room, but we still don't have everybody's vote. We got Hobo, Cool Breeze, Ike, Trip. That leaves you to Scandalous. Where you at, sir?
5-star for me.
Oh,
and the reason why, right? So ironically, we're having this conversation about military and MASH and everything, but I think this track to me lends itself to the rest of the whole total of the album. And it's consistent with the theme for the rest of the album, which is the reason why I picked this album to begin with. It falls right in line with the rest of it. So it may not be 100% the best track, but I think it's consistent with the rest of the album.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right. You absolutely right. You know what, Bob Amity, you correct, man, because it's almost as if they didn't have this on here. You would be like, why?
Right.
How come you didn't address MASH when MASH is something that everybody
a group named KILLARMY with no military track.
And it's at the end of the album to complete the programming.
There you go. You see that?
Be clear. The theme, the military theme, is all over that.
Heavy throughout that album.
It's heavy throughout the whole album.
Love
it.
Again,
very cool theme. They stuck to it. Down to the artwork on the graphics of the singles and the album. I remember. I think it worked for them. They had that whole like WU-Army shit kind of going on, and it worked for them. Respectfully, though, when we asked the question, the best Master Killer feature for round number 3, we put Illusion versus 5 Stars up against each other. And this one was the first time tonight where there's been a little bit of a split in the room, but one side still weighed heavier than the other. And Illusion takes the win on this one, putting Sons of Man up on the board once again, 2-1. Oh man, it's about to get interesting. What did the voting booth have going on there for this one?
It was 50-50.
Interesting.
So again, we didn't get the split like that, but again, a divide in the room. People really.
If the Rev was here, it would have been split.
If the good Rev was here, there'd be a splitting. You're absolutely right. Interesting Master Killer, like I said, segue that we dived into right there. And again, every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do it right here live on Twitch. Don't forget to follow us if you're not following already. Skin, I wanted to see what are they saying in the chat room. I'm reading something Mrs. September's talking about underground versus mixtapes. What's he talking about?
No, so we're just kind of just having like a discussion as far as like the different eras. You know how we always say like the timelines, the different eras. So we're just kind of just discussing just about like that 96 era when it kind of split, right? And then also with like the Sound Bombing, Lyricist Lounge, that raucous kind of pre-era, right? You know, it was kind of like that was underground, right? And that was, you had the artists associated with that. But then you also kind of had, which I think you and I discussed a long time ago, of artists like Core Mega and all these type of different street cats that they weren't necessarily mainstream, but they had affiliation with the mainstream, but they weren't, but they were still on a street level, like Graph, right? So like they were still street, but they weren't backpack underground. They were kind of like street underground, which to me,
right. So it's like there was two
different
versions of underground.
It's yes,
There was lyrical
things.
Yeah.
Yes,
and street.
yes. Because
like
the
that.
graph crowd, right? They might not necessarily be going to the sound bombing. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay, but that was just the kind of the split with the underground scene. So that's kind of what we're discussing in the chat real quick.
That's mad interesting. What's also interesting too is that the street version that we're talking about was still lyrical though.
Right, correct.
Yeah, sure.
So like
Sure.
you could say that about graph people fans, right? Not going to lyrical lounge, but it's also like the graph is kind of nice. I know he never got the shine.
That's why I said him specifically. That's why I'm specifically
but it's like he's very punchliney and double on top kind of guy. So it's kind of like, oh, like if you're a student, I would love to say I dissect it like that, but I don't. But for those that dissect lyrics, yeah, it's an interesting world to be in. And again, a split situation of street versus lyrical. When we're talking about Sons of Man and KILLARMY, where do you think these guys fall? Would it be into the street version or is it into the lyrical version?
Honestly, man, I don't think that they necessarily fall in either category. I think they have their own category.
WU-TANG is its own thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, man, because like
I'm good with that.
A lot of, there were some people who were speaking, a lot of 5%, that type of lyrics, but not like them, man. Not like them.
Yeah.
and they still had the gun bars and they still had the gunplay. They weren't really talking about selling drugs so much. I mean, a little bit, but not like pervasive, right? And they were trying to show you a way out of that and how to be something better than what you think you are. And I think Wu-Tang, especially, like, I think that's a common theme throughout. And I think they were just the dudes who were like carrying that torch at that point. So I think they have kind of their own lane.
So I have a question too, based kind of off this, right? I think when the show first started, where, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's too long-winded, but ironically, we're talking about Wu-Tang, right? And then we're talking about like God Body, Fruits of Islam, 5% Nation, Black. So we're still talking about kind of like a religious, theme centered around street-oriented music. And I guess one of the things I was kind of analyzing is that you still have those elements here, but now is this, right? So because this got removed also, right? They removed conscious hip hop back with Public Enemy, so we got rid of that. This was like kind of like the next reiteration of that, so to speak, if you kind of think about it. And then all of a sudden, this got clipped, and then fast forward today.
Did he really get clipped though?
You have,
definitely.
What do you mean exactly?
I didn't hear the question.
Well, you said he got like this version of the reiteration, right? The rebirth.
Sure.
It was clipped, you were saying as well, and I'm like, was it though? I mean, because both groups still had their own preserved fan base, which still falls on the
right.
But there's a legitimate fan base for both. A lot of them released individual projects on their own.
Sure.
Still maintained the group, and then still had a bunch of other albums that are still under the group name. There's still a bunch of Sons of Man albums, and there's still a bunch of KILLARMY albums. So it's like, and let's be clear, even down to the very first album, were they really ever going to get any kind of radio or video play? No.
Well, I guess the totality of the overall of my question was, to me, this was still an era where it was still kind of in that, well, yes, they may have not gotten radio play or all these type of things, but we look at the reflection of music today, and we can see how music is just completely out of pocket.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Like completely out of control.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Not to say there weren't those elements back then, but it is completely out of control now.
You're 1,000% correct. And I think that's what made Wu-Tang was for the simple fact that it was all of that 5% street knowledge, lyrical shit. They wasn't pushing drugs, but you knew where they were around, you knew what they were about.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was still about building and knowledge. And you're right when you talk about them being clipped. They absolutely did not want that. And if you're saying they got clipped, they were clipped because this was a different type of army that they were building. You know what I'm saying? You weren't just building. You weren't just building soldiers. You were building complete other thinkers. You know what I'm saying? Soldiers, thinkers, and everything like that. So this is definitely something when you talk about lyrics and Wu-Tang, and where that's where the captivation becomes. That's why when you go to a Wu-Tang concert, you see so many different people. Like there's no way that there isn't some sort of genre of person who can't associate with something with Wu-Tang.
Right.
And to that point, Jules, I would say that that type of music did get clipped because the closest thing to that type of, if you're gonna say, God body talk, is the last Busta album. He touched on it a little bit in that album, but before that, nobody's really been on that except for like the Wu-Tang dude.
I was gonna say the Wu stay. I mean,
yeah, they stay on there. But that's my point. That goes back to my point. They got their own shit.
Yeah,
they got their own shit.
They do. Okay, fair enough. I mean, currently stand at a 2-1 score with Sons of Man in the lead. Not bad for Roop. Like I said, I stepped into the game initially with no votes in their direction when asked about in the entire room when we kill Army. But we're up to round number 4. And don't forget, every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here live on Twitch. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube and all your podcasts.
Yes.
Eats, beats, and rounds. One word. Like, subscribe, comment. Definitely the comments are fire on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that leaves comments. Like, yo.
Yeah, shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate it.
I love it. I love it. Let's keep it moving. We've been talking about him most of the evening, but let's be clear. He did pick a side. I'm speaking, obviously, of the man known as Fourth Disciple. He's featured all over the production on both albums. He is literally one portion of the group that is KILLARMY. So he's actually in the group. Think of him as an actual member. So it's weird.
He's the rest of the group.
Basically. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Sons of Man, like I said, have production with him as well. We've heard a lot of it tonight, as a matter of fact. Disrespectfully is my ode to the man, Fourth Disciple, by picking some, again, what I would think, are quiet bangers on both projects. I wanted to put, respectfully, the best of Fourth Disciple, The Plan versus Swinging Swords.
You think you got it all settled. You think you got the perfect plan. You think you got it all settled. You think you got the perfect plan.
We breaking plans up, Sons of Man, what? Throw your hands up, stand up soldierly, keep enemies close to me. The president sugarcoat to me, the same one that threw a rope on me. Pick on dead brains like the roaches be, build like construction, bring plans destruction, malfunction your internet with intellect. This doors in the Sons of Mansion, you ain't enter yet. Who be trap you like Solomon's temple? Caught you trying to steal a jewel out my mental. Who sent you? Devils drop your soul like a rental. The hell what we been through since we stopped speaking Hebrew. We got robbed, stuck up with needles. Be careful, they need you. They plan to delete you. My seed soon to lead you. It's good versus evil.
You think you got it all set
You got it all set up, baby.
You think you got the perfect plan.
You know what I'm saying?
You think you got it all settled. You think you got the perfect
Come on, God.
plan.
Take it to the crib.
Sheesh, that's a dope ass sample right there.
That is a dope sample.
Yeah.
Very fitting of the Wu-Tang.
That was my joint. Yup.
So yeah, I see you in the chat room. So did you used to play this at Oneonta?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's played that a lot.
Yeah, I used to play this a lot. I used to play this a
You
lot.
played that joint at shows, Skin?
Say it again.
You played that joint a lot?
On the one of the shows that we had at Woney. Shout out to YZ. So YZ, myself, Triple C, and I, Breeze. And then I had a show with my homegirl at the time, OJ. From Staten Island. And we used to play this show. And I remember she was like, yeah, he was playing this record all over Staten Island that summer. Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
That's a fire banger right there. I
That
can
is
see why
dope.
you bringing
That is
it
a
back.
dope record.
Especially that's 90 something right there. So I can
98.
see that.
That's
There
98.
you go. There you go. So again, Steel sharpening steel, another silent banger in my opinion. Swinging Swords of that Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars.
Take on the wall, son. Show how it should be done. Real guy. Stimulating brain cells. Check it. Yo, Killer Army bounty killers, industry kids shivers, shells through your liver, dead corp flow through rivers, murderous style is superior from Charlotte to Nigeria, spoken through the monitor, with the wisdom for dynamic professor, lyrical cannon processor, Nat Turner was my militant ancestor, I captured your mind, put in isolation, controlled with soul automation, victims became mechanical slaves again, read the East Coast historian, as you oppose this, the Walking Dead soldiers can't get close to this, I be splitting shit like Moses, didn't celebrate with guns and roses, I turned soundtracks into Star Tracks, my tongue is symbolic to an axe, I used to be caught up in the world of Mad Max, now come against the consequence of the Ninth Prince, I sit upon my throne and chop off domes, did it in the homes of your peoples so they could zone.
Ooh. He picked some pretty good samples, I ain't gonna lie. That was like some old like Billie Holiday type of like early Ella Fitzgerald, like.
Yo, man. I mean, it's funny when we think of the Wu and the Wu flag and the Wu banner, we always think of RZA as the main producer, which he was, right? But the Wu producers was RZA, Fourth Disciple, True Master, and Mathematics. Those were the main Wu producers, and a lot of those bangers that we really love, like Fish and all these joints, those were not RZA produced records. It's no knock to RZA. It's just that I think sometimes some of the Wu producers don't get enough of their flowers.
They absolutely don't. They
don't get enough of the respect that they do, because I know a lot of the Wu records that I like are Fourth Disciple and True Master produced records. You know what I mean? And even that production style of just even how, because they use the ASR 10 and EPS 16 plus. So how you make beats on that is a little bit different from like the MPCs and all that. And just hearing how they kind of just made that their style and their sound, they don't get enough respect sometimes, man. So shout out to those brothers, man.
Yeah, shout out to them for sure.
Shout out to Fourth Disciple specifically right now, because I said we're giving him this round right here. Fourth Disciple, an Ohio resident, apparently not a New Yorker at all, straight Ohio guy. Half of the group is actually from Ohio. 3 members, if I'm not mistaken. He is one of them. So that's kind of cool that, you know, that Ohio sound kind of became part of a Wu-Tang kind of contribution. I mean, because RZA lived in Ohio for a while, didn't he? Isn't that what the TV show said?
So the TV show said after he.
The TV show said.
That's right. When he escaped New York for a bit.
Yeah, this gave you. So Ohio, again, the involvement of Ohio, pretty interesting. Shout out to him, because I think True Master is from Harlem, if I'm not mistaken. And then you got Mathematics is from Staten Island, right?
Mathematics, I believe, from Southside.
Oh, so he's okay. I thought it was the other way around.
I could be wrong. No, I could.
No, you're right.
This one.
I'm trying to remember. I think it is Mathematics. It might be Mathematics. Either way.
Yeah, but it's funny that Scan said what he said, because anytime I hear the beats for either album, I always picture Wu, the red Wu, on the track. So I was like, yo. So I think they would kill it more than them. That's why I don't want to pin the family against each other, but I think Wu would have killed either album. They would have killed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, no.
I think
that was just the thing about it.
Go ahead, Ike.
No. I wasn't going to say, but that's just the thing about it. I think that's what made these groups so dope, or what made like what Scan was saying is what made True Master and Mathematics and Fourth Disciple so dope, is because RZA had created the original Enter the 36 Chambers. You know what I'm saying? The purple tape. You know, Tony Starks. You hear that shit, and you're thinking like, yo, there's nobody else. And then, I mean, I think the production for on the double CD, when they we in the thing coked up site. What's that record? Fuck, I can't think of the record right now. MGM. There you go.
MGM, yeah. That's not MGM.
That MGM record is a phenomenal record, and you would think that it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this has to be, and it's not. I think that's just what makes the groups or the other producers so ill.
Yeah, that's a good Trip. You bring up a good point because when I was listening, revisiting, what I jumped out at me is that on the Sons of Man, it's a lot of like Method Man's on that album, ODB's on that album, and
Raekwon, You God
on that album, You God on that album, and to hear them rhyme with these guys, no disrespect, but you can see the difference in the rhyme.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Yes.
It's no disrespect. It's no
disrespect.
No, you can see the charismaticness in the Wu. You can see the Wu. To me, if you really peep game from like the main Wu members, you could almost see like, yo, that's just top tier all around. Everything from lyrics to the way they look to the way they dress. That's just top tier at its finest.
Just think of your favorite athletes, the top athletes. Like, listen, we can all play ball. Like, those guys play ball just a little bit different.
And that's why Killer Sin out of Killer Army could have been in the starters because Killer Sin was that dope.
Mm-hmm.
That dope. Beretta 9 was phenomenal too.
Mm-hmm.
I think Beretta 9 is another Ohio resident, if I'm not mistaken. He might have been another one that's from Ohio. Right? Is that, well, can nobody? Okay, never mind.
I don't know.
I'm positive I read that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I apologize if you're not from there. But either way, round number 4, I played them already. The Plan versus Swinging Swords. We haven't got a vote in yet. Who do you got?
Plan.
The Plan. Oh, snap. Cool Breeze putting it down. Breeze got his vote in. Anybody feel the same? Or you feel different?
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel the same.
Triple C. Oh, my goodness. Like, let's get it over with.
No.
How do you feel that way, Triple C? Let's dissect your vote.
Well, it's just a memory of Scan those paintings. It's like I remember that vividly.
Thank you, Scan. Thank you, Scan. Thank you, Scan.
That was great. Thanks.
See what you did, Triple C. You see what you did? Letting off all kind of sound bombs. Triple C and Cool Breeze putting their vote down for The Plan. Anybody want to throw a vote for Swinging Swords or no?
So
I'll throw my vote for Swing. I'll throw my vote for Swinging Swords. I might not be as elaborate as my brother Triple DJ Hobo over here. So I'm gonna step back and let him vote.
Hobo, I assume you're going the same way there?
Yes, I am gonna go Swinging Swords, but I do want to confirm Beretta 9 is from Ohio and moved to Long Island.
Oh
wow!
Oh shit! He out here. Let me go holler at this.
I'm saying, we gotta get him on the show.
I will be putting up the Wu-Tang symbol in the sky on my way to Street FM tonight. I will do that tonight. He could definitely fucking come through and chill on the street. My nigga.
Listen, the vote is currently tied up at the moment. We got 2 people for the Plan, 2 people for Swinging Swords. That leaves your man DJ Scandalous, aka Baba Mitty. Sir, who do you got?
Man. The Plan. I gotta go. I was playing it. I have it on tape. I can't deny it.
You knew which way he was gonna go.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
About the radio station and say, "Come on, man." His vote is in already.
We just got to keep it official. We got to get it on tape. You know what I'm saying? We gotta But when it comes down to round number 4, we asked the theme of this round to be called the Best Fourth Disciple Track. We decided to put The Plan up against Swinging Swords. There's a pause in there. But either way, while it wasn't completely one side of the room voting like some of the other rounds, it got chosen. It got down to the nitty gritty. One last vote decided the room. DJ Scandalous making round number 4 go to The Plan, putting Sons of Man up on the board one more again, winning round number 4. Score 3-1.
What kind of bullshit is this?
What?
If you're paying attention to the math, math don't lie. Math don't lie.
Yeah.
It's called bullshit.
3-1. Mathematically, it is impossible to keep going, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
With that being said, and everybody in the chat room and in the internets, leave it in the comments if you have a problem.
Wow.
Apparently, I'm about to hear about it after I let
You know what?
Wow.
Can I say something?
Triple C got his wish. Yes.
Can I say something? Can I say something? I will give you your props on the placement of these questions tonight. I will definitely give you that because you were able to stay away from the dopest songs on the Killer Army album. Outshined everything on this motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I have to
play number five. Sir. I played nothing.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
You missed some joints on the Killer Army album. I think the question was good. I think the question was good. The question was good. There was not an easy round of questions to come up with. So
listen, both albums were difficult to, like I said, to put up against each other, pause. But let's be clear, when we talk about the entire game, we got to give it up. And the math don't lie. Tonight, we decided to take on the challenge, the underground Wu-Tang challenge, if you will. Sons of Man, their debut project, The Last Shall Be First, going up against Killer Army's Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And while the entire room voted initially when they stepped into the room for Killer Army,
you didn't choose the songs we wanted you to choose.
The album that wins tonight's battle is Sons of Man, The Last Shall Be First. Give it one time, Sons of Man. One time, EPR. Ooh, I know that sting.
Scorecards, bro. This has to be applied to the judges' scorecards, kid.
I know that sting.
Now,
there's a few joints you did.
There was round number 5. There was round number 5. And round number 5 was another RZA challenge. I literally labeled it another RZA round. Why not? And I had Can I See You up against WARFACE, which is also co-produced before this cycle. But there you go. That would have been. Now, which song do you think I should have played? I missed.
Soldier.
Woo Renegades.
Woo Renegades.
Woo Renegades. Yeah, Woo Renegades.
I think. Listen,
I remember Slapbox. Come on, man.
You gotta play that joint, Jules. You gotta play the Woo Renegades.
Yeah.
Well, listen. So do you want to hear round number 5 at all, or do we go straight to Woo Renegades? What do you think?
Straight to Woo Renegades.
Yeah, man, because I don't think nobody wants to hear after you just did that bullshit. Come on, take it to Woo Renegades.
Oh, man. Get played over here. What's going on?
Somebody wants to hear that bullshit.
Tonight's American expose is terrorism.
Killer Army, this motherfucker. Yeah, Killer Army, we the last Armageddon. Prepare yourself now for the 6-man wedding. In the streets, when the sand wars on our side, nigga, here come the bride. You can't persuade this brigade. Killer Army renegade on this crusade. Lyrical murder and certain be my trade. Drum more heat than black suede. I'm the sun beaming on your dome when the shades nowhere to be found. All you hear is the renowned sound that makes your eardrum pound. You can't avoid it. They've been exploited in your district. The ballistics are statistics. Fuck the critics. They criticize while I revise men of pride. Use technology, you'd be surprised. General wise is currency alive. What strong soldiers build with boulders, forts and barriers. My brain pad and hold weight like a freight, sharp like ice skates. Flow this track like it's cellmate. Then motivate. Now I'm out of state, using my paper made to penetrate. The open mind to take the time to listen to the crimson tide that I provide. I dedicate my life to my poetry. If it's meant to be, then let it be. It's only right, I'm out for the night. My life's a legacy. It's like I remember Slapbox, and now we clap shots to catch rocks from knocking rocks on the block to chop the fat crops and shock. I see the takes to motivate, cause half my team behold the way we march across the Golden Gate Bridge. My mind is in the soldier state forever. Real troops are never squeal, so my Berettas feel leisurely and infiltrate your metal shields easily. I'm pleased to be the man 100 grand, the 10 lands. Now my clan's doing tours in Japan, the San Francisco, live and disco, packing nickel plated pistols and keep my block hot like burning Crisco.
Yo, who won in the chat room for that last round of the Plan versus Swinging Swords?
The Plan, 67%.
Ooh, that one also. See, it worked the way it worked. And be clear, by the way, some of these songs, like I said, don't go together. Like, for example, if I were to play the lead single versus lead single.
Yeah.
No.
This is what you call, this is my history right here.
Send the fifth element. Earth, wind. It's not a bad record, but man, where do I go with this? Got the WU-TANG in the house. I'm saying ODB. Play the guitar, man. Earth is possibly covered in the water. Keep off the surface. The sun and moon had a track of power while it's on its way around the sun. I'm the Eddie Kane of the WU-TANG. Old sides with the fire, versus slang. Maintain this paradise on this earth with the shut the fuck up style for what the shit is worth. Watch a nigga catch a purse. Superhero niggas die. Do my dirt. Get away and multiply. Maneuver wisdom shots to. Like, I don't know what I put
That shit is ill though. That shit's kind of ill.
Cool.
I like it. What do I put that up against?
I don't really like the intro.
I would have chosen Burning Season or Warface.
Burning Season. Yeah, Burning Season is dope.
Huh?
Up against that?
Warface.
No, that's on the same album.
Nah, that was.
You gotta find like a correlation. Like if I was gonna do that, play the first single of Asylum Weapons. Check this single out.
We advance as one. Remember, the only way to win is to stay together.
Master Vengeance. Check the yoke. Master Vengeance. Camouflage ninjas. Master Vengeance. Time for fear, MCs better beware of the worst nightmare. Soldiers of the Wu infantry out the locked in your vicinity. Killer army taking thrones and war bombs straight to the danger zone. When you grab the microphone, this is my rap empire. The so-called king will get fired, overthrown, stone the devil. Stampede, door, religious rituals, blind individuals. Brothers get lost like wandering Jews on a pilgrimage. My team pack beams on the line of scrimmage. The first one who strikes gets the advantage. Lyrical destroyers, 5 elements causing damage.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't. That's technically the A side. The B side is Wake Up. So
Right.
like it would have been Camouflage Ninjas up against Shining Star. Come on. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do, and I do it well. But it's not easy. And sometimes you guys help, and sometimes you don't.
This one.
This
This one was a tough
one. We're done, right? I would have went with Sons of Man. I find that album to be way more enjoyable than Killer Army's album. Killer Army's album was just, it honestly sounded the same the first time I heard it. I had to, on the third listen today, because I went for a jog, I was like, okay, now I can find, like I had to like headphone hear it, car loud hear it. I was just like, it sounds the same. Like every song sounded like the same tempo.
Yes.
Same monotonous, like Triple C's like kind of flow.
That's what I said.
Sons of Man, even with that Shining Star record, like, and I don't know if it really fit their album, but again, I guess they were trying on that project to like, we need a single. Wyclef produced that track. At least it had that variety. Even the song "The Plan," like that, it's different from like, you know, some of the other songs that are on the album. Like they just had a little bit of variety that just it worked well. I feel like also the mix was way better on.
Well, you know what? You're right, Jules. And here's what I'll say real quick. I guess to me, like the Killer Army album, to me, it sounds like a Wu-Tang album, like a 36 Chamber. To me, like that kind of vein of what it is, and even I get the monotony of it, but that's the consistency of what that Wu-Tang sound is. You know what I mean? So I guess for that was like the main reason why I kind of voted, because it sounds like a Wu album where
I mean minus a few songs.
What's
minus
that?
a few. No, I'm just saying minus a few songs on like the single, like Shining Star. I feel the same way about the Sons of Man album. Like I feel like, I mean, you on that album. Let's be clear, it's more than just like True Master versus Fourth Disciple. I mean, you got to be fair and be clear that like Fourth Disciple got like 3 tracks on here. True Master got like 6.
Right.
Supreme, right, got like about 2 or 3. Then you got RZA with 2. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, True Master did take a lot of the chunk on, but like it's a Wu-Tang project. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at this track list and you're like, this is straight Wu-Tang off the bat. And we didn't even get to mention the fact that a lot of people appeared on both projects. Like
right.
Appeared on Sons of Man appeared on.
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't a lot. Sons of Man had more guest appearances than Killer Army.
In terms of their career or just this 2 projects, you mean?
just this project. Like they had more.
Yeah.
But I would also say that out of all of the Wu-Tang affiliates, I think these two had the longest run.
Respectfully, what other groups were that? I looked at some of the artists.
Wu Syndicate,
Wu Syndicate, right?
American Cream Team is kind of going too. I mean,
Cream Team was that's like a loose affiliate though, because that's Raekwon's boys.
What's the ones? Who's the ones in Cali?
North Star, something like that, or was that one of the MCs?
No, that was the group. That was the group. That was that guy. But yeah, North Star.
Yeah. Okay.
North Star. And that was, I mean, of the affiliates.
Okay.
They had the longest run. I mean, because Shaheem put out 2 albums.
Shaheem.
Well, I was just gonna say we forgot the solo artist.
Shaheem, Lot of Dark
Shabazz the Disciple.
Yeah.
Remedy.
Lot of Darkman, Remedy.
Yep.
Five Deadly Venoms.
Dreddy Kruger.
Yeah, but how many?
Dreddy Kruger's album was my shit. Dreddy Kruger's album was my shit.
Which album are you talking about?
L.I.
Dreddy Kruger's album is good.
Oh my God, what's the name of it? I can see the shit. Oh my God.
You're not talking about the one that he like executive produced with a bunch of other artists. So is that the one you're talking about? It had like the Apple kind of logo going for it or some shit like that?
That's Bronze Nazareth. That's Bronze Nazareth.
Is that Bronze? I thought that was Dreddy Kruger's project.
That's another one. No, Dreddy Kruger I think had something similar. The first it was the oh my God, I can't remember the name of the album because Rock Moss was I remember specifically, shout out to my dude Jazz. I remember Rock Moss was on the album. This is probably when I first got to Street, and I'm a Wu head, and I was playing that on Street, and I remember Jazz hitting Phantom. Like, yo, this nigga I listen to hip hop for real. I'm like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think this shit is, man? But I can't remember the name of the album. Yeah, I can't. But Dreddy Kruger.
You gotta remember tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly gonna happen.
There was a project that Baby Grand put out a few years ago, back in
with the Apple logo. That's Bronze Nazareth.
That's Bronze Nazareth. I mean,
that's Bronze Nazareth. Yeah.
What do you mean by when you say it's Bronze Nazareth? Because it doesn't say his name anywhere on here. It just says presents.
It's the Wu-Tang one.
Wu-Tang meets the indie culture.
Well, I guess maybe he produced most of that album. Then maybe that's why I'm saying it like that.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I'm saying it like that.
On here we have
Think Differently. Think Differently was the album.
Think Differently. That's it. That's the same album then. Yeah, Think Differently. That's the same album he's talking about.
No, it's a great album. It's a great album. It's a really good album. That's what we wanted to talk about. I'm glad we're all on the same page. I mean, basically what it says, it's like Wu-Tang meets the indie culture. So you got situations like Jizza and Razkaz on the same song. You got C-Ray Walls with You God, Sean Price, and Prodigal Son.
That was a good album, yo.
Yeah,
this is a great album.
That's a good album.
Very dope album, bro.
I remember really liking it.
The one with Beata, that one was my joint, yo.
RZA and MF Doom together. Dell had a joint on here. Bronze Nazareth is on here once. I mean, I don't know if that means anything. Like, what else? But Solomon Childs and Bayada.
Solomon Childs, yep.
Solomon Childs,
Asia, Littles.
Planet Asia, man.
Planet Asia is so fucking dope. Shout out to my dude Huss. Shout out to my dude Huss Kingpin, because Huss was running around with Planet Asia for a minute. You know what I mean? And I've always been a fan of fucking Planet Asia. I feel like Planet Asia should have been a Wu-Tang member.
Yeah, word.
No, Dreddy Kruger is the A&R of this project. I remember he was like,
okay.
I remember him.
That's what it was.
Maybe that's the affiliation.
Bronze Nazareth is on here, but I remember Dreddy. That's why when Ike was talking, I was like, I want to see if we're talking about the same thing, because I didn't know much about him. I just saw his name in a lot of like Soul in the Hole stuff and things like that, and and it was just like, oh, he was a rapper too. Okay, I never paid attention. And then I remember having this album, loving it, and then finding out later that he was involved in it. Like, wait, Dreddy Kruger, that's like his project? What do you mean? And
that was about 2000. What year was that? Like 2006, right?
2005.
Okay.
Shout out to once again another LI legend, already the Rugged Man.
Yeah,
right.
He's on a song on that album with J Live, which is another dope MC.
Yeah.
So to go back to the point, I think Scan you were making, and I think this is kind of in that same vein. There are so many dope at this point in time, that backpack rap, right, and then the street rap, but they were all still really nice, man. Like
Yeah.
dope MCs. And today you don't have that. You don't even have very many really dope MCs, period. And whoever wants to add me at it, you can.
You're just a munch right now. You're just a munch. You're just a munch.
I welcome the conversation. Yo, seriously, if you see this on YouTube, wherever you see this, I welcome the conversation because I know people that can rap, but I bet you, like the people that are getting burned right now,
It's
Drake,
unbelievable.
Drake can rap, yo. Drake can rap. 2 Chainz can rap.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Well, that was that split. That's always why I keep mentioning those timelines because that 2005, right? Again, if you look at it from a coastal perspective, right? Because we know Atlanta is on the come up right now. We know South is starting to really get the crown because in between Outkast, 2005, Outkast, T.I., even though the records that we don't like, right? Like what was it, D4L, and all these other records that were coming out,
Laffy Taffy,
right? And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But this was the other flip side to it. You know, whenever I reflect on this era, is that you had that era of the South coming up and ATL and this type of stuff, but you still have these lyrics. And then just like how we're talking about it now, you had two sides of what the underground style was. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's true. Shout out to all those indie labels back then. You had the Land Speeds, the Amalgam Digitals, the
Baby Grand, Seven Heads.
What's LP's label? Def Jux?
Def Jux. Shout out to all those dope labels like that were around back then. Fool's Gold, even not too long ago.
Fool's Gold, okay.
Back then too. All the labels that were always dropping cool indie shit. Even Fat Beats had its own stuff like they were dropping.
Yes.
Yo, not for nothing, man. Just because I'm looking at this, the people who are on this think differently, and Del the Funky Homo Sapien keeps popping out of me. We got to do a Del episode, man.
We do need to get like I don't know, like I said, full album. I mean,
yes, dog. Yes.
Word.
Yes, man.
A full album.
Yes, man. A whole fucking Del album. Yes.
I wish my brother George was here.
And the one after that.
And the one after
both of them.
Okay, is it that important that like they can go against each other? Or?
They could.
You might have to talk about it.
It's both of those albums were dope, man. And I'm not even gonna get into the Gorilla stuff and the stuff he did with Deltron. I'm just talking about these 2 albums.
Okay. No, I remember both.
Right.
Well, I remember both projects and certain songs from both projects. Like the single of the second one, "Here Comes the Fall." What was that? What was
Ring the Alarm?
No. On the second album, the no. It had a cello shit.
No
instrumental.
It's Ring the Alarm.
Ring the Alarm?
It is Ring the Alarm. Yeah.
That had a different name. My bad.
Yeah. See, you don't even know the album. You talking about? Can we do a whole album?
I just told you. I said I only know the songs, and apparently I didn't even know the name of that fucking song.
You know what, son?
I would think you want to keep it exciting for the host, but all right, if you want to bore me down a little bit, have me acting like Triple C did tonight. You know what I'm saying?
I guarantee you will listen to both of these albums and be like, damn.
No, I know I will. Del is definitely underrated. He's fire. Again, he wrote for Cube, and that's his cousin.
And that's Domino on production, right? For Souls of Mischief and J Biz, I think, doing production for them.
Yep.
So yeah.
And that whole viral movement is its own baby. It's dope.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we should definitely. Okay, fuck it. Well, we're on camera.
I mean, we got a lot of episodes we could discuss because I'm going to advocate. I haven't said it yet, but I'll say it right now. I'm going to advocate for my 3-6 Mafia episode at some point in time.
Yeah. Oh, I would be down to do a 3-6 Mafia.
I'm going to advocate for that. Not just
that's an interesting one. Homework. That's an interesting one. I got
no. Stop! Don't gaslight. That's an interesting group. Against who? Against who? Don't come in here talking like your boy.
If you really, so you asking this question for real? A-Ball and MJG. If you really want to go there,
if you want to go there.
I would go there, or UGK for that matter. If you really want to get into it,
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see the. I think the well, it's just gonna be biased with those, but my vote would be for UGK. My vote would be for UGK.
I mean, we did decent numbers with the Luda and Ti, so I'm not scared to do a downside
Y'all
episode.
disrespected T.I.
Yeah, music. I know. At one point in time, I want to try to get the UN album, the UN and You Out.
Oh yeah,
classic,
yeah.
classic hip hop.
I remember I was there for that party when they had when that album came out.
I wish I was there. That was my homework first night I got the Street FM. That was my homework first night I got the Street.
Oh, I would throw some J Live albums in there too.
Oh,
okay.
J Live versus Bell.
It's a lot we could do.
I mean, you could. I wouldn't be mad at that.
We could do a Handsome Way Modeling School versus Volume 2. Volume 1 versus Volume 2.
It's a lot. It's a lot. We got to end the night.
Triple C won. Triple C's
like,
roast is
I
raised.
didn't want to do this battle anyway. I gave you my time. I'm out. Cut it off.
This
Cut
battle.
the camera off.
Fuck your couch.
Fuck your couch in your battle.
He said, I got to go. This shit is enough.
Never gave you ninjas internet.
Triple C said that.
Shout out to Chino XL. Yeah, Chino XL. Another Long Island dude. Another Long Island dude.
Yeah, shout out to Chino XL for sure.
I thought, Chino's not from Long Island.
Yeah,
I thought he's from Jersey.
Yeah, he is.
I thought he's from Jersey, and I could have sworn he was living out here for a while. Well,
He's still out there. He's still out where you at.
In Cali, right?
He lives in Cali, but he's from Camden, New Jersey.
Okay, got you.
When Camden was like even scarier than it is now.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. That's rough.
I'm gonna go look for my yeah, okay. It still is, I think.
No, it is. That's what I said. But he was from like before the internet. And like Camden was you drove through Camden. And only if you had to. You usually skipped it. Like
word.
It was bad. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping things up tonight. Like I said, Sons of Man, the winner tonight. Respect to KILLARMY, respect to both, respect to the Wu. It was a WU-TANG filled evening tonight. Shout out to everybody that tunes in every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love you guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Shout out to my man, Mr. September. Shout out to Nerd Chris all the time. Shout out to everybody that joins us, Third Eye Assassin, everybody in the chat room all the time. Listen, we're going to be here next Monday. Tune in. DJ Hobo, are we going to raid out or are we just going to call it a night tonight? What's going on?
Raid out.
We're about to raid out in a few minutes. And Chino XL needs his flowers, according to Mr. September. Chino XL is definitely, he's part of Mensa. That's how like ill he is. Like, do you guys know what that is? It's like that. Like,
yeah.
Smart. Yeah.
He's like smart. Like they say. No, but like they officially, like if you down with them, it's kind of like, yo, he's with us. Like he knows. You know what I'm saying?
Smart.
Oh, that boy's smart.
I'm smart.
That boy Puerto Rican.
Munch.
He was actually signed to Machete Records at one point.
Was he?
I mean, he didn't put nothing out.
Really? Did he put something out?
Yeah, we got to chop it up a few times on the phone. He was mad cool. He used to tell me mad shit.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was just gonna say shout out to my homies at Man Bites Dog Records. Shout out to them because they're putting out a Chino XL project coming up soon.
Nice.
Chino XL is, I mean, we all, if we're talking about this because we all know, like he's a verbal assaulter. Like that motherfucker. Like he's insane. He even played me. Well, I still have it too. He sent me roughs for like at the time. It's the 2000s, not the 2010s, 2000s. Dre was taking verses from anybody for Detox. Like it was the Imaginaries album that was never coming out. He sent me like 3 roughs of like Dre shit that he wrote in like a Dr. Dre kind of like Dre, like you know, like I'm Dre. He like the third person.
Yeah.
No, he wrote it first person. Like is it from Dre? And the beats were crazy though. I was like, oh shit, he's a fire. Because I was convincing him, like, listen, I'm the guy that's gonna work all the English shit for you. So give me everything you got. And he was like, it was mad cool. It wasn't even like a hard to. It was just like because Machete was mad like Latino'd out, and on the West Coast where he's from, like it was Mexican out like crazy. So he was
they don't know the level of Machete Records though, Jules. I don't think they understand that. They don't understand what Machete Records was.
That was the label I used to work at.
No. I'm saying we know. I'm saying for the rest of the room, they don't know the magnitude of what Machete.
Oh, I
Records
used to work for
was.
Machete Music. It was the Def Jam of reggaeton.
Yeah, which was huge at the time. They were huge.
At the time, I know I was balling on a different level.
They
back
were
then.
huge.
I had an expense account. It wasn't out of control.
They were huge.
I was running around all types of shit. It was crazy. But the West Coast started signing things like some urban acts on the West Coast. Like there's one of the guys, I forgot his name, but Lean Like a Cholo, which is, it was like this record that
I remember that song.
You know what I'm saying? It was like some dance associated with a song kind of record. And then they signed him. I don't know why, who did. I don't know anything. I just know it was kind of like, yo, Jules, like talk to him and shit. Like you know, like the same world. And it was like, oh shit, like what's up? Like he's thinking like, all right, like I gotta convince you who I am. I was like, no, I know exactly who you are. Like I'm a fan. Like I got your records and shit. And he's like, oh shit, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm just buying your shit since you were on Deaf American. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day. And he was like, oh shit, Creep. Remember Creep?
Yep.
Like since then. So he was cool. He's a good dude. Smart dude. He also told me a lot about UGK. It was kind of sad because he was really cool with Bun.
All right, we ready.
I forgot we're still live. So I'm seeing Diego down tomorrow on them like, wait, live.
Good lessons though. Like I said,
out.
they don't understand. Like Machete Records was big.
We out. See you guys next Monday.
Want to shortcut? Make sure you stay around and say what's up again.
Oh, shortcut, nice. I like shortcut. Beat junkies.
Yep.